Hey, yo, check this out.
The Weekend Grooves on Facebook. Facebook.com/941 Weekend Groove.
Facebook.com/941 Weekend Groove.
Like us for exclusive behind the groove updates and talk with other Weekend Groove fans. It's online and out of sight. Facebook.com/941 Weekend Groove. Like us, Weekend Groove. You're listening to the Cool Out Hour with the Tower of Power. We're going to be interviewing Mr. Chris Jasper, and I think he's right here. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to be on the show.
Oh, man, we're great to have you. Great to have you. I know it's a lot of things happening in New York, since the memorial, the 911 thing,
That's right. Yeah, that's been going on practically all week now. And it just concluded today with the main ceremony down at Ground Zero.
Oh, I understand.
It's a very moving experience,
Yeah, and our hearts and our prayers go out to y'all out there because we went through the same thing in '95. We had the Murrah bombing and everything, and that kind of shook us. So we give y'all your props, everything, and we're praying for y'all,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and New York, we got a lot of help from a lot of other states. People came in and helped the workers respond down there, and New York is thankful for that too.
Okay. Well, all right then, Chris. Well, tell me something. How did you get started in the business?
Actually, the three of us, the three younger members, myself and Ernie and Marvin, we started a trio when we were in high school. And we used to play like local dances and some church events here and there.
Oh, okay.
And the older guys, they saw us playing. They used to have us, play every time. Some guests would come over, and the more we played together, the better we got. And after a while, they started to wanted to use us on the records, to play on the records. And so from that point on, the relationship between the younger guys and the older guys kind of grew, and it kind of grew into one group.
Okay, were you playing on some of the Teenage Buddha years?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Giving It Back, Brother, those albums back then. Get Into Something. There was about like maybe 4 or 5 albums before 3+3.
And that's Love the One You With too, right?
Oh yeah, Love the One You With. Yeah.
Oh, Stephen Stills.
Those were some of my first sessions.
Oh, and they were great too. They were great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They were great. And the teenage years, that's when you went to 3+3, right?
That's right. Yeah, that 3+3 was when all 6 members of the group were on the cover, and we became one self-contained band at that point.
Oh, great. Oh man, I'm listening to this Superbad album. This is your self-titled album right here, and it sounds real good. And we'll turn it up just a little bit to let Oklahoma get a little taste of it.
All right.
It sounds real good, man. It sounds real good. So, when did the band, split up?
That was 84. 83 was actually the last album we recorded together. That was Between the Sheets.
Right.
And after that, the group, split there, and we formed Isley, Jasper, and Isley.
Oh, okay. And you did well, with Caravan of Love, that cut that we heard a while ago, and you had Insatiable Lover and If You Believe in Love. I think that was one of the hits on there.
Yeah, that was one of the ones on that album. Yeah, the Caravan of Love album. Yeah, that did very well for us.
That was a beautiful album, man. That's a beautiful album. And what inspired that album?
Well, that album, I personally sat down with Ernie and Marvin one day, and I said, look, we tried the first album, which was kind of an experimental album, Broadway's Close to Sunset Boulevard, because we tried a lot of different types of songs on that album that we hadn't done before. And so on this Caravan of Love album, I said, we got to get back to the soul, where our base is,
Right.
And I really started to work on Caravan of Love first.
Right.
I actually wrote that song on guitar. I was walking around on my property in Armonk.
Wow, that's
and
cool.
I was like, working out some chord progression,
Oh, wow.
And I got the chord progression, and I came inside, and I started to play it on the piano, and, just started to build the song that way, because I wanted it to be soulful, something that, a really R&B, but also a song that reached a lot of people, like sort of like an anthem, you know.
Right, and it still had that Isley Brothers feel too, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it had the nice, soulful feels in the guitar, because since I wrote it on guitar, I said, okay, Ernie, let's play it like this, go at it from this direction. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Ernie, he's a great guitar player. And he,
he is.
Really worked that, he really worked that out very well. But that's kind of the concept I had. I wanted to make a nice soulful record, but I wanted a message that was, universal, that really told the story about getting back to some basic things that, we've gotten away from, and that is love and, really caring for each other.
Oh, right. You're right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that album, I mean, it was really good. I remember hearing that album. It was a friend. He was hooking up a car stereo, and he said, man, I got this new Jasper Isley, Jasper album, and I want you to hear it, man. And he hooked his, that's when we had equalizers back then. And he had his Pioneer 6905s, and man, he put it on there, and the bass was just kicking. I said, man, I mean, it was sounding so good. Yeah, we had the little equalizers and everything, and we were cool back then. I mean, that was cool then, But we had to get the sound out, and when y'all did that, I mean, that really broke the mold for y'all. It really did.
that was really a good feeling to have the concept that worked, and we also did a video with it.
Yeah, I saw the video
that really told the story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was a really good experience to have that do as well as it did. It stayed #1 for 3 weeks.
Right.
And it really got that message across.
Right. I mean, that was a beautiful song. So, who is your inspiration in music? I mean, who did you really like back in the day? Who really inspired you?
Yeah, coming up as a kid, I used to listen to Jackie Wilson and Sam Cooke,
goodness,
and Ray Charles,
mm-hmm.
And Marvin Gaye. I mean, those singers, just the singing really made an impression on me, because especially Sam Cooke, when he would sing, he had a way of styling a song.
Oh, yes, he did.
That was different from anyone else.
Yes, he did.
And I think he has the most influence, and then Marvin Gaye.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Huge influence on me, too.
Now, when Marvin Gaye wrote that What's Going On album, that was an album that was ahead of its time. Very ahead of its time. I mean, everything you hear that's happening right now, I mean, it's I cannot say it's like the Bible, but, it's really ahead of its time.
Well, yeah, he was talking about, the things that were going on in that time, and unfortunately, a lot of them are still going on.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes,
but
it is.
He and Marvin had another way. He had his own way of styling a song too.
Oh, yes, he did.
That was different from other people, and that's what kind of attracted me to those two singers, because they're unique in their way,
right,
in their styles, and it's great how that album just went on and on,
right,
from one song to the next.
Mm-hmm, it sure did,
and that was a new thing at the time too.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So, what do you think about the new artists these days?
The new artists, I mean, there's some new things happening, now and then, but there's not as much new and creative material as there used to be.
No, it isn't.
And I would, that's one thing that I would like to see is, more of that.
Yeah, them creating their own. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more original songwriting and more diversity, more differences, because I think there's a lot of things now that could be any artist. They're not identifiable sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? There was very clear distinctions back then. Earth, Wind, and Fire sound like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Right.
Isley Brothers were Isley Brothers.
You know it.
Commodores and Commodores.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Cool in the Gang.
Right.
There was so many different within R&B, within the same genre.
Right.
There was so many different unique styles within that same genre, and I think that's the differences. The difference in now and then.
Yes, it is. It is. It's a difference because I mean, with the younger crowd, all they can do is put a record track on and just probably bleep out their words and then put their words in it and make a hit. I mean, it's a hit.
Yeah.
It's a hit.
I mean, there were some timeless hits back then.
Yes, it was.
And I think that's why. The generation now, they look back and they say, hey, maybe I can take a segment of that, because it's timeless. I mean, there was some great songs written back then.
Yes, it was. It definitely was. And back to the Isley Brothers, back when I was younger, when we were spinning records, the baddest Isley Brothers cut had the lines in it, had the bass lines.
Yeah.
When you saw that record spin and you put that needle on, that was the baddest Isley Brothers cut, back in the day. Because, I mean, you guys had the bass. I mean, y'all really had the funk. I mean, it was really hitting, And,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the bass lines were important.
Yeah, it was.
And that's all. To us, that was always an important part of a song.
Right.
Is, the bottom,
Yeah.
Was it supporting the beat, correctly, and, was it distinctive, and those kind of things. And
right.
At a certain point, I started to play the synthesizer bass, too.
Right.
And that became more and more popular, on songs like Fight the Power.
Oh, yeah, Fight the Power was something else.
Yeah, that synthesizer bass, was, really, pumping it.
Right.
And Take Me to the Next Phase.
Oh, God, Take Me to the Next Phase. Oh, yeah.
That's when that ARC 2600,
Oh, that was kicking. That was kicking. Now, what did y'all do when y'all had that? Did y'all just do kind of a live track, with that, or what? So like did y'all do that live?
Take Me to the Next Phase.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That was done actually in the studio, but we had live tracks. We added live tracks to it. Mm-hmm. But that song was edited.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, it wasn't. The finished product was not how it was actually recorded, because when we recorded it, I felt, well, let's see. This verse is too long. We got to slice this out. We got to put this section back in front of this section. I think I made about 8 edits on that song.
Oh gosh!
And then it finally played down correctly, and then we finished it off. We put the lyrics on it and everything.
And then the worst thing, you did not have computers to really do that. You had to splice it.
We had to slice the 2-inch tape, the big tape.
Oh, that big tape,
which
yeah.
was quite a undertaking. Like that took all day.
That's that big Ampex tape, isn't it?
But yeah, that was it involved a lot of editing.
Oh yes, it did. Yes, it did. So, could you let everybody know what's in your CD player? What are some of your favorite artists that you take along with you?
Well, I guess you could say, Louis Evangelios, of course.
Okay.
He's a great singer.
Yes, he is.
Marvin Gaye, people I mentioned, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder.
Oh, yeah, Stevie Wonder. Now, Stevie Wonder, what is your favorite Stevie Wonder LP? I think Songs of the Key of Life is the best one that he done.
That's one of them. But the one that made the biggest impression on me was Music of My Mind.
That was a good one, too. That was a real good one, too.
And it's because of how he recorded it. He recorded it with the synthesizer. Every sound on there was synthesizer except the drums. Mm-hmm. And, me being a keyboard player.
You fall in love with that, right?
Yeah, when I heard it, I was like, hey, man, this guy's really doing some innovative stuff with the synthesizer, because no one else had done that much with a synthesizer up to that point.
Okay.
There were little, bits and pieces, people would use it, very sparingly.
Yeah,
but
they did.
He just went all the way with it.
Yeah, because he did the talk box too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did the talk box. He did the whole thing was done with this one big synthesizer in California that this guy, invented.
Didn't he call it an ARC or something? Or?
It was they called it Trog.
Oh, it's a Trog.
What they named
okay.
it. But it was a bunch of synthesizers built into one big unit.
Right.
And Stevie was the first one to really, commercially use the thing. And he got some great sounds out of it. And that's one of the reasons that we went out to California to do 3+3.
Oh, 3+3 was a dynamite album.
Yes, and we wanted to use that synthesizer. And I use it on Highways of My Life, on that track.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a good one right there.
So, that's one of the main reasons. And that was... I mean, I don't know if that was his best album, but that made a huge impression, and so did the one Intervision.
Oh, Intervisions was real good. Intervisions was real good. And it had, did that have You and I on there?
I think it did.
That one had You and I on there, because every time when I listen to it, it reminds me of Good Times and Thelma getting married and JJ tripping Keith down the aisle, and he has, well, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that, you know. But what are you doing now? Are you doing gospel now?
I've done like 4 gospel albums, and all of my songs now, if they're not completely gospel in lyric, and that is because I still do R&B music.
Do you? Okay.
It's R&B music basically, but I'll have inspirational lyrics on there, and I may even quote from scripture sometimes.
Right.
But most of the times it's just the principles, God's principles in my music. But I still do the R&B music, and but I always want to have a positive message in it. And I started that with Caravan. I wanted to say positive things, because there's enough negative.
Oh yes, there's a lot of negative vibes out here today.
There's enough negative vibes and lyrics and stuff going on.
Yes,
so
it is.
I'm not going to add to that.
Yes, it is.
I want to just stay positive, and if people want to call it gospel, they can. But it's really R&B music and have inspirational lyrics. That's basically what it is.
Right. And my partner Vernon Campbell, you know him, you love him.
Vernon.
You know him, you love him
for years.
He says you got it's a gospel CD that Johnny Sister Mason's son is playing, Invincible. He is a judge.
Yes.
And he's been playing some cuts off of it.
All right, yeah.
And I was wondering, what was some of the cuts that I haven't really sat down and heard the album, but what are some of the cuts that you kind of recommend?
Well, that's one. He's the judge. Also, Invincible, the title track.
Okay.
Keep Reaching Higher, the second one.
Okay.
They all have their own individual kind of messages.
Mm-hmm.
I say you can preach a sermon from each song.
Well, that's a good thing.
Because they have so much information in it.
That's a good thing, That's really a good thing.
I don't like to. I mean, I appreciate the praise and worship songs. That's good.
Right.
But I like to give a little more information than that.
Well, that's good. That's real good, because man, I tell you, God's the key these days.
Yes.
You've got to have Him in your heart and in your life. These days, in order for you to wake up.
That's right. I mean, and the earthquake. That's one song that's on there, and that's one of the lyrics. Wake up, everybody.
Right. Right.
So that's another one I would recommend.
Yes, that is a good one. That is a good one, because I'll tell you, we here at the Weekend Groove, I mean, we have we have good advertisement, but we can have better,
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I have to come out of my pocket because, Vernon and I, we do it for the love of music. I mean, we love music,
mm-hmm.
and we love trying to share this with Oklahoma City, and with you, if you're online listening, you can check us out, man, and we play good music, and we nurture the old school where other radio stations kind of slay it, kind of talk about it, and we love the old school.
Well, that's good. That's good.
We love the old school. Well, Chris, look like that's gonna kind of wrap it up, man. We've got to get on to the groove. So
all right.
We sure do appreciate you calling, and if you're listening online tonight, we're doing the Cool Out Hour. You can call back, and if you want to hear something, we can get it on for you.
All right. I'm definitely going to have it on. I got it on. Margie has it on right now.
All right, then. Well, is it a certain song you would like to hear tonight?
How about Everything I Do?
Everything I Do. Okay, and that's by who?
Chris Jasper.
Chris Jasper. It's on this It's on this CD.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's, let's see, where did I put the cover's right in front of me. Everything I Do. Okay. Everything I Do. Okay, we'll get it on for you.
Right.
We got to go to break, so we got to pay some bills. We'll be back in 2 and 2. And Oklahoma City, welcome Chris Jasper to the show. I mean, we love talking to you tonight.
Hey, I loved being here, man.
All right, then. This is my first interview, so I tried to do the best I could.
It went pretty well as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Okay, then, Chris, will call us back, okay?
I will.
All right, then.
Okay.
Okay, later on. God bless you.
Bye now. Mm-hmm. You too.
Hey, yo, check this out.
The Weekend Grooves on Facebook. Facebook.com/941 Weekend Groove.
Facebook.com/941 Weekend Groove.
Like us for exclusive behind the groove updates and talk with other Weekend Groove fans. It's online and out of sight. Facebook.com/941 Weekend Groove. Like us, Weekend Groove.
Holla.